Hello, everybody. So, I'd like to start with a show of hands. If you've ever felt burned out in your life before, can you raise your hand? Okay, well, that's good, because it would have been awkward if nobody put their hand up. If you know the reason why, can you raise your hands? The real reason why? Okay, very good. So the reason that I'm doing this talk and the reason I'm speaking about burnout is because it's a very close topic to my heart. I actually sat here at the last Give It All event, and I had another speech or talk prepared for tonight. But then I just scrapped it, and I thought, well, what would a room full of ambitious people and entrepreneurs and just cool people want to actually know about? And I thought, what's the biggest and best lesson that I've ever learned in my life? And it's not to do with burnout. And just caveat, I'm no expert in burnout whatsoever. I'm an expert in having burnout myself and feeling burnt out. So the real reason, or the real, I guess, title of tonight's talk should be the real reason I'm burnt out. You know, on the banner or the logo or the thing for tonight, it says the real reason you're burnt out. But every single person who put up your hand, you could have 100 different reasons. There's probably 1,000 different reasons tonight. But I want to talk to you about the real reason that I has felt burnt out in my life. And this is a lesson that I've learned from my coach as well, my very first coach, who completely changed my life, who's unfortunately no longer with us. And this was the lesson that he left behind him for me and hopefully for you guys as well. So the real reason that I felt burnt out, and multiple times in my life, and when I came to the last event and I sat here, I was actually going through a really, really difficult time. I have a business, still have the business, but something wasn't feeling right, even though on the surface, you know, we're doing good numbers. The business is doing 40 to 50K a month for the last 2 years in a row. Everyone's like, you've got a fantastic niche. It's amazing what you do. But something just internally didn't feel right. And it's been like that for about a year, roughly. So it was incongruent. So you hear a lot of the time online, authenticity is kind of thrown around the place a lot. But I feel like there's a big difference between authenticity and congruence. And in the opposite of congruence being incongruent. So what is congruence or incongruence? It's who you are and the way you live actually match up, right? Because you can be an authentic person and still be very incongruent. But you can't be a congruent person. You can be congruent, but not authentic as well, right? So they're kind of like thrown around a little bit in a bit of a mixing pot. So my coach, before he passed away, he left a letter, he left a note. And basically, you know, the devastation of not living in congruence, not incongruent, is that it can lead to very, very dark places. And I just want to share with you guys tonight, just letting go of that can be such a relief. After I sat here at the last event, I went and had a conversation with my business partner, and we decided to go our separate ways, shut down the business. And that night I sat there and I didn't really want to even interact with anybody because I was feeling so heavy. But as soon as I made that decision, as soon as I made the choice to just live within my truth, even though it was scary as fuck, it's like, okay, I'm going to give up this amazing thing just to follow a feeling. And as we know, right, our feelings aren't always reliable as humans. However, if it keeps knocking on the door and it happens again and again and again and again, then eventually it's probably worth listening to. So the thing I'll leave you with tonight is, if you're feeling any incongruence in your life, if you're feeling like you're always burnt out, you're doing all the things, you're going to the gym, you're eating well, you're sleeping on time, you've got the whoop, you're doing all the stuff and you still feel burnt out, maybe there's something deeper to look at. And don't let it get to the points where it got for my coach, unfortunately. So yeah, the most important relationship is going to be the one that you have with yourself. And I would encourage you all to have a deeper look at that. So that's it from me tonight. Thank you very much.